Ladies and gentlemen, this is Internet Personality Evangelist, and I am here with some Columpio action, some Columpio groin action. You see, the original version of Columpio was a Diaclone version. I reviewed that at the convention, and I thought it was okay. He's got ball joints in those 4 places, and these ball joints were a little bit hinky, but they were alright on the Diaclone one. I've since popped all these ball joints off on the Diaclone one, dipped them in future floor polish, and they're lovely and tight now. This is the retail Columpio, who I've done no treatment to. His shoulders are fine, but oh man, his legs, they are something. They are such something that he has a real easy propensity to start slipping and do that. Volar and Velos came out, and while I didn't originally have this, thanks to hard return Mr. Ian Reed, I've now got the Columpio Refine part, a new groin for Columpio. So I'm going to install it on video, because that's what we do now. That's our internet. I'm going to briefly just destroy the innocence of this video and say I did kickstart a few of these screws, just so you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me try to do it at a distance rather than holding this close to my chest and just getting in there with some proper brute strength. But let's follow the instructions on the Refine part instruction sheet. Take the screws out of the butt first. So I'm removing anal screws here. Or at least getting them so they are no longer fully connected within the anus. I think they're going to stay within the anal plate cavity, but they will no longer be connected, and thus we can get this butt open and get to work on the good Lord's work, that being the replacement of groins. So, got this torso up here, can set that aside. The screws I just undid are here in this rear butt plate, set that aside. Alright, so here's the front of that butt, and here's those ball joint things. Next thing we're going to do, step number 2, is undo these leg things. Now, I did not kickstart these ones, and this screwdriver I don't find is good for kickstarting. I'm going to use a flathead to be a real untechnical and just brute strength my way in here. There we go. And, there we go. But this looks better on camera, so now I'm going to use this long one and undo the screws here in the backs of the legs. I don't want these to fall out. Okay, they're going to stay recessed in the rear thigh holes. That's good. Let's get them so they're loose. I can get this plate off, and I'm worried about that knee ratchet exploding. I don't know if I have to worry. No, I don't. Okay, I can leave that connected. Get this off. We've got a leg over here with its rear thigh plate. Hey! All in one happy family. There we go. Alright. One more time, ladies and gentlemen. I did kickstart these screws. That is, I got their initial tension gone so I could just go in and do this. So, you know, when you do this, you might have a bit more resistance when first getting them going. But, you know, if you have a screwdriver and you know how screwdrivers work, then this should not prove too much of a challenge. Get this lifted off. Keep that together. Alright, so this and this all sandwiched together. This is the old crotch that we do not need anymore. Set that way over aside. This is the new crotch that came with Velos and Volar. And I always forget which one is which, so I'm just saying both their names every single time. Now, we want to switch this thing in. Unfortunately, this comes with its own screws, which is kind of nice, but we are going to have to get those screws out. I already kickstarted them, because we got to get this sandwiched around that hip peg. So, let's get these out. You'll notice these screws are actually in different places. They changed the setup of this whole thing. Originally, on the old crotch butt plate thing, this is where the screws were. On the new one, they're in the center mass. They're right up the crack. Alright, so that one's loose. And that one's clicking and loose. Get this open carefully. There's the inner workings of it. Alright. So we'll take the upper torso now, and I'll zoom the camera out a bit so all this makes a bit more sense. And this is a mushroom peg. So we'll just slide this onto the mushroom peg. Like that. Clasp the front crotch over that, sandwich it all together, thusly. Am I doing this? Are we really gonna put up a fight here? Alright, I think that's going together. I was gonna get back here and tighten up them screws. Come on. All these mushroom peg tensions are fighting back, and maybe the screws are pushed. I'm just going to start tightening a screw and see what happens. Maybe that'll fix everything. Yeah. There we go. That did fix everything. Now it's all just gripping properly. Alright. This could be tighter. Could still be a little tighter. Yeah! Alright. New crotch is in place. Now we just have to mount the legs on the new crotch. First leg is right here. It's the front of the leg. You see, it's scientific. So, that's the front of the leg. We'll get him in the back here, because that's where all the screw jobbing's going to happen. We'll slide this in. Oh, I don't want the leg to do stuff down on the knee. Alright, there we go. Uh-oh! I just dislodged the ratcheting knee joint. Keep it together. If you don't want to dislodge the ratcheting knee joint, here's my tip. Don't do what I just did and grab right at the ratcheting knee joint. Go. Nope, don't pop it. Don't shoot at the camera. That would be real bad. Oh, this thing's really fighting back. I think I may have to cut away for a second so I can get this all realigned. I would do this all in front of a camera if I could. However, the object literally under my chin and in front of my chest does make doing some of the finer finesse stuff here about 50 times harder. If you ever wonder, by the way, why some people don't do all this stuff on camera, well, I got a real big story spoiler for you here. It sucks. That's why they don't do it, with a camera under their chin. Okay. Oh, but you should just get a cameraman to film you while you do it. It's a good idea. Go find me one. We've got step one, which is realizing, yes, a cameraman would be helpful. But step number two, finding one who will do it for free and not crappily. Step number two or three, I don't know. Step number something. Yep, we're gonna get out of the way for a sec. All right, so we fixed it, and that took a little bit of doing. So might have to just do that all over again off camera if this doesn't go super well. But let's take this leg and very carefully, without dislodging the ratchet joint, because I was able to get it back together clearly, but that took some doing. And oh man, now there's no room for my thumb. Hang on, move this out of the way. There we go. Took some doing, and you got to use a device to. That's a heavy spring, and it does not go quietly back into where it needs to go. I very much respect whoever had to assemble this a few thousand times. That is not a kind assembly. And alright, so I tilt this over a little. Oh no, this is how it all happened last time! Okay, don't push up. Hold this together. There we go. So I push this part in first. Just hold that joint together. And there we go. Close, sort of. I don't know. This is a terrible idea doing this on camera. This is a dumb, terrible idea. Why did I do it? Alright. So I'm screwing this in. It's sort of clipping everything together that was getting tensioned against by that spring. There we go. Do. I'm just tightening the screw. What are you doing over there? I don't know. Alright. We've done it. His new hips are in place. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that these hips look a little bit more in line with the other Lost Exorealm guys in that they are not ball socket joints. They are also much tighter, and they are a pair of, like, swivelly, hingy things. Is this knee giving me trouble? Don't... Okay, it's not. Hi! So, they aren't ratcheted. They are just frictioned. And I'm really paranoid that this thing's somehow not aligned inside there. I don't think it's possible. There's no room for it not to be aligned. Okay, it's fine. Anyway, there's a swivel joint that goes forward like this. It's at a slight angle. It's kind of a V-crotch, but there is also a thigh swivel to account for that. and there's just a, like, friction clamped around a thing hinge to go outwards. Now, the old ones were able to go out far enough that he would go into the splits. Now, they can start off straight, and they can go out about that far, and that's the limit of how far out they go. So, he is losing a bit of outward hip range, but the design of Columpio sort of makes me feel okay about this. My first reaction when I was messing around with these hips was, oh man, I'm losing the ability for him to do a high kick. But his physical design is a little bit funny looking when his legs go out farther than this in the first place. So I think I'm okay with it. They definitely are a lot more solid in feel. Like they have a lot more grip on their joints. They are not floppy. I think this is accomplishing the main thing that it was trying to set out to do, which was to make his hips no longer floppy. They are not floppy anymore. So, there you go. That's the Columpio Refine Parts installation. When you're doing this, as you saw, be careful with those knees, because it's not like there's only 3 parts. There's 2 little circular gear parts and a spring. But that spring is powerful, and if it comes apart, you've got to push back against that spring with with this thing, and you might jam it into your finger or something. It's hard to describe, and I don't want to pull them apart to show you, because goddamn, that was hard to get back together, that one that popped out. But be aware that the spring-loaded knee joint, the ratcheting joint in the knee, that's the most delicate part of this whole procedure. And if it comes loose, it's going to take you a little bit of time to get it reseated in there, unless you've got some kind of badass tool for that. But these are what his hips look like now. Look at his glorious, unball-jointed, non-splits falling groin is here for all to see. Thanks again to hard return Ian Reed for passing along his hips to me, because my volar came via different channels and did not come with that crotch. That's all I really got. Nothing else to say. I'm going to pack my tools up now. That crotch.